On Robert Meets World, episode number 5, Dr. Shannon Ladone provides us a quote from Sherry Turkle in saying the following.
Kids who grow up with phones don't get the chance to experience emotions and process them on their own because they either share that emotion, right? They have to text someone if something good happens, something bad happens. They have to distract themselves, right? Oh, I just got bad news, but I'm just going to watch this video, or distract myself in other ways. And so what she says is that kids who've grown up with phones don't know how to be alone. They only know how to be lonely.
As previously discussed in side quest number 5, we explored Dr. Carl Jung's concept of the vas hermeticium, or hermetic seal, the basic psychological principle of converting our prima materia, the raw, unprocessed emotional matter, into psychological gold. Using a sealed container, we expedition within ourselves to explore our psychological contents, holding the tension of opposites within, the conflicting experience of our emotions and our reality, realizing I deeply love this person, yet I am furiously angry at them, and allowing for the fire of growth to generate an intense psychological heat that uses this prima material to convert into gold. This leads to, however, a modern dilemma facing individuals in search of growth. Today, at any given moment, we have the means to escape the heat of the vas hermeticium and fall into what we can call the validation hole. When we feel the heat of emotional tension, we use our devices to alleviate the pressure, like a digital pacifier, seeking immediate validation to prop up our perspective. Maybe we post something on our social media profile, attempting to self-amplify and validate our position, constantly jumping between sources to validate emotions, chasing likes, comments, and digital echoes and shadows, puncturing the hermetic seal. The tragedy of the validation hole is that by escaping the heat, we rob ourselves of the psychological gold available through our own individuation. To understand what it looks like to actively resist the validation hole, choosing the fire of the vas hermeticium, we don't need to look at situations for forced suffering. Instead, we look at areas of intentional containment. We can even look at Jung himself. During the 1920s, as Jung's public profile grew, the demands of modern professional life threatened to scatter his focus. As the tensions mounted, Jung decided to buy a plot of land on the shores of Lake Zurich. There, over the course of several decades, he built a stone structure now known as the Bollingen Tower. He intentionally built it without electricity, without running water, and most critically, without a telephone. The very construction of this tower represented Jung's physical manifestation of the seal. He recognized that his own processing of prima materia, the complex theories, internal conflicts, and profound confrontation with his own unconscious needed to be sealed and entirely cut off of the superficial chatter of the outside world. Inside that tower, he possessed no immediate escape. He felt the psychological heat intensely, frustrations of half-formed ideas that he could not seek validation with his peers. He had to chop his own wood, pump his own water from the lake, and sit in a deafening silence of his own mind, forcing him to hold the tension of opposites, leading then to the alchemy of solitude. Through his voluntary stone container, Jung refined some of his most enduring and profound psychological ideas, allowing the raw, emotional, and intellectual matter to cook down rather than venting the pressure out to the world prematurely. What's more is Jung notes him he felt more like himself at the Bollingen Tower. Drawing the metaphor of the tower back to our hyper-connected modern age, Turkle's observation that we only know how to be lonely and not alone points to that we have dismantled our own capacity to build Bollingen Tower. When the heat of our internal conflict rises, we reach into our pockets, open an escape hatch. We fall into the validation hole of infinite and shallow connection, using proximities and gamified communication to release the pressure of our own discomfort. The work of individuation requires us to recognize the siren song. We must be truthful and honest with the urge to immediately express every raw emotion, depriving us of the very psychological process that constructs our character. Learning, even in small ways, to seal the container, we can put down the phone. We are starved for the meaning of today, not because we lack information. There is an endless number of articles on the internet claiming how you can find your purpose, but because we lack the psychological containment necessary to endure fire and process of that raw material into gold.